What's going on, y'all? It's Cam here, and today we're back with another review. Today we're going to be reviewing The Author's Ballad by Alex Jean. Now, Alex Jean is one of those artists who probably needs less introducing than some others in the Christian hip-hop genre. He has made singles that have broken into the mainstream. He's become famous for the catchy, sample-driven, and intentionally low-quality mixed sound that I found myself just hearing all over social media over and over again. And that's not a dig by any means with the low quality sound. I think it's a way that Alex has definitely paved his own lane and placed himself at the forefront of what's truly groundbreaking hip hop. And I say poorly mixed. It's really just his own designated mix that just makes things sound loud, big, kind of clipping at a certain rate. And I think the sound fits well with his hefty booming voice and cadence that just feels like it's gonna burst through the speakers. So Alex has been making music for a few years now, but really popped off with songs like I Need Faith, which samples Tim's in pretty tasteful fashion. Think about Walking in Peace, Forever in Faith. Some really good singles, which led to last year's More Than Gold EP, which displayed Alex's ability to make a project, which in reality, it was more of a compilation of singles. But now we actually have a full-blown album, and a debut album at that, in The Author's Ballad, which is released through the record label Aliens Alive, backed by Grammy Award-winning producer Rodney Jerkins. And going into this thing, I was pretty excited to hear a full-length album from Alex and his unique sound. And Alex only released 2 singles in advance, which made this pretty low profile, building some anticipation for this project. But now that I've spent some time with this project, and I would say a decent amount at that, I have to admit, it's really hard for me to wrap my head around this thing. We start off with a hard-hitting intro, which is titled Stand Firm, You'll Win, and I like the synth chords. I like the surrounding percussion and this kind of purgatorial sound. It's got a heavy sound with an awesome electric guitar solo in the midst of it. I like it a lot. But then things take an interesting turn where the song continues for seemingly 8 tracks. And I'm half-heartedly joking here, but it seems like Alex is going for an experimental album here where each song is basically using the same samples, the same sounds and elements as the rest. And I won't lie, it makes for a pretty redundant listen. And what's interesting is that up to this point, Alex has come this far by the power of his singles, his hit-making ability. So if anything, I was weighing the possibility that this would just sound like a compilation album of singles that would work on their own, but maybe just don't have the cohesion altogether. But Alex has gone off the other far end of the spectrum where he's trying to make these songs sound dang near indistinguishable from one another. So moving on from the intro track, we get the song Sons of Thunder with Tori Deshawn, which I enjoy this song in theory. We get an awesome verse from Tori where he has this killer bar. They dot every I and then they cross every T, but he crossed out the I, he died on a T. And I like that part a lot. And I like the beat, it's a head nodder, but for some reason, this song is way more quiet than the rest of the tracks. And it sounds like a pretty rough mix, not mastered at all. And I know I said Alex kind of has this intentionally poorly mixed sound that works because it's rough around the edges, but this one actually just sounds sloppy. And I almost have to crack a smile because we get another guitar solo that comes in at the end, and I'm just like, the first time it was cool, but now it's just like, okay, what's going on here? Like, I had to listen to this project a lot because it befuddled me. What was Alex's goal here? The song Matthew 18:20 plays on the verse that it's titled from, that it's referencing, where it says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them." And I like the lyrics, I like the theme and the idea of this song. I like the sample, which sounds like it's from like a professional wrestling show where you hear the crowd going, 1, 2, 3. But the beat is dang near insufferable. It sounds like there are so many things just thrown together. And then we get another guitar solo. And then we get this big hard rock breakdown at the very end, and then the song abruptly ends. Next, we get a hip house song titled Way Too Good featuring Holvey. And again, it's just a messy splice sample fest. That sounds like someone fumbling way through making their very first beat. And I gotta say, like, Alex sounds great on all these tracks, by the way. And on this one, I love when he and Holvey start tennessing back and forth lines. And it's just a really cool moment. But it's only cool if you can get past the mess of the instrumental. I also think it's important to note that Alex is listed as the only producer on the album. So it seems he had a vision and goal in mind, something that I've been working really hard to figure out what that goal is. What's the concept here? You know, I've even gone to look for articles or even interviews, literally anything to give me any kind of context. I struggled to find anything, but what I did find is that there were originally 2 more songs, including an intro track, that explained from a narrator voice that this was an experience, not an album. So it's pretty clear that Alex was turning away from just making some standalone hits and wanted to dive into something that he's never done before. But I regret to say that he seems a little in over his head, which is surprising considering the backing of Rodney Jerkins and Aliens Alive. I just can't imagine this ending up in their hands and saying, yeah, let's release this. Now that might sound a little harsh, especially since I do like Alex's music. I want to also make it clear that there are some really strong songs and moments I like on this thing. Stand Firm You'll Win is one of my favorite tracks of the year, and the track In My Bag finally explores some different sounds and is such a standout track, not just because it does something different, but it also has an awesome Keyshawn Boone feature, just excellent. And I like how Alex opens this track with a clear theme. They want the collar, your wristwatch chain, I want the kingdom of God, purpose, pain. He's not from this world, he doesn't want to serve any kingdom but God's. But it just baffles me, like this is the only true detour we get that explores something a little bit different sonically. It's just a little frustrating in my opinion. And at the end of the day, if you were to listen to any of the songs without hearing the rest, you might just say, that's a pretty good song. But hearing the whole thing together, it's just repetitive, it's redundant, and it's pretty hard to listen to. And it's a bit disappointing because I really do like Alex and the progress that he's made up to this point and the music that he's put out. And I'll still be tuned in to see what else he releases in the future. I really do like his stuff. There are some songs on here that I do like, but overall, this concept album is just all over the place. It's confusing and it sounds lackluster. I'm betting that Alex will for sure bounce back. He'll release some stuff and I'll like it, but this isn't one that I can say that I love as a collective body of work. So I'm feeling a 5 out of 10 on this one. Let me know, what did you think of this album? What were some of your favorite moments, favorite songs, and what else should I review? I'll see you guys next time.